Hey everyone, my name is Jamie Lee. Welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for watching this video today. Now today we're back with some stuff from Amazon that most of it is fashion related. There's something beauty related as well that I've purchased in the last couple of months that I just really wanted to share. I've got some leggings, I've got some flares, I've got a dress, and all of these are things that you can find on both Amazon Canada and Amazon US. But just so that we're all on the same page, I do live in Canada, so any pricing that I mention will be specific to Canada, which if you live in the US, you know you're going to be paying significantly less than us. So just keep that in mind as we go through. Now, I don't usually buy a lot of clothes on Amazon. I'm sure this is something, if you've watched my channel for a while, you'll probably notice this. I am someone who is generally very much against things like a Temu, as an example, where it's just a ton of, in my opinion, like quite cheap stuff. Yeah, you're not paying a lot of money for it, but it's very poorly made. It's usually made using slave labor, and we could get into a whole conversation about that if that's something that you're ever interested in. I feel very similarly about Shein, any of these companies where they're just making a ton of new products every single day. When I'm shopping on Amazon, I'm trying to find specific brands that sell their products on Amazon. I'm not necessarily trying to find like the cheapest possible thing. I'm trying to find something that has really good reviews. The brand that is selling on Amazon has consistently good reviews, and I can see that they are filling like a very specific target. It's not just a brand that's drop shipping a ton of stuff. That may or may not be important to you, but it is very important to me. So specifically today we'll be looking at stuff from a couple of different brands. And part of the reason I kind of wanted to do this now, I feel like it is getting harder than ever, at least for me and where I live, to shop in person. Most stores in the town that I live are hundreds of dollars for a little simple dress, $100 plus for a t-shirt. They're all very like fancy boutique style places, but when you go in and touch their stuff, it's just the same quality that you would be buying from anywhere else, from like an Old Navy even. So I end up doing almost all of my shopping online, and obviously Amazon is a very convenient option, especially if you need something really quickly. I live in the middle of nowhere. I've talked about this before. I do not live near any major cities, and I can still get Amazon deliveries in 24 hours. You don't always need that, but when you do, I do think that it's very convenient. Obviously, it is always going to be better for your economy, your local community economy, to shop local when you can, but I will be the first one to admit it's not always possible, especially if it's like, oh gosh, I got invited to this last minute thing and I need like a really specific outfit for it. Man, my leggings that I've been wearing for years ripped, and I was planning to go to the gym tomorrow or go for a hike with a friend. There are times when 24 hours will definitely save you. And very quickly before we get into starting to look at the pieces, a couple of notes. I'm not wearing any rings or a lot of accessories today because I went golfing over the weekend, and for some reason golfing makes my fingers swell up really, really badly. Like I think I just grip too hard, so I squish my fingers together too much. They're super, super swollen. There's no way I'm getting a ring on there. So I'm gonna give it a couple of days before I wear any of my rings. Also, I've got a bruise because I did a blood test the other day and learned that I'm excruciatingly low on vitamins B12 and iron. So probably why I've been feeling a little low energy for a while. Definitely a sign, get a blood test if you can. At least once every couple of years. Make sure everything's doing okay. And with that, let's jump right into it. Let's start reviewing the pieces. First, I do want to revisit these leggings. I talked about them a little bit in a different video comparing cheap and expensive leggings earlier, but these are the Sunzel leggings. So once again, I try to find kind of a brand that has really good reviews generally across Amazon, and usually I feel okay about buying some of their pieces. These leggings, when I bought them, were super affordable, like around the $20 mark, which is amazing. I believe regular price, they're a little bit closer to $40. However, they are incredible leggings and they really regularly go on sale. So I always recommend adding things to your wish list or your save for later and getting them when they're on sale if you can. But I will say, I do think that the like $38 price point that they are at usually is still really worth it for these leggings. I got the 25-inch length. You can see on me that is full length because I'm only 5'1", but these come in multiple other other lengths as well. It's just under a different listing, at least in Canada. So I will make sure down in the description box I include both the longer length and the shorter length in case you are interested in checking them out for yourself. These leggings are buttery soft. They quite literally feel like my old Lululemon Aligns, my favorite ones that I had before they started getting super unbearably thin and cheap. These are butter soft. They feel absolutely incredible. This style obviously does not have the crossover waist, but they have other styles with a crossover waist if you love that. They do have a center seam. For me, that is not a factor as to whether or not I get camel toe. I think that it just depends on the overall style of the leggings and the overall fit for me. I obviously got these in black, but they had lots of other colors as well if you don't love the black. These do not have any compression in them, so they're not squishing down your bum at all. They're not squishing down your tummy. You are just going to look like you in these leggings. Obviously, they are very, very high rise, so if you do feel a little bit insecure, maybe you have a bit of an apron tummy, it can definitely get covered up in here, but it's not like sucking you in at all. I find these perfectly squat proof, very, very comfortable to work out in, super, super stretchy and comfy. This is something that you could wear around your house to do absolutely anything, and they would be comfy. You can wear them to work out if you want. Unlike the Aligns, I've worn these multiple times for my hour-and-a-half walk on my walking pad that I do every morning, and I have not noticed any pilling whatsoever with my Aligns and with a lot of other brands of leggings. I find they end up pilling really bad between the legs, especially because like I'm walking at a very high speed. Like I'm basically just like speed walking. So usually they get torn up pretty quick. I haven't noticed that at all with these, and I've had them for a couple of months now, wearing them multiple times per week. And just in general, I would say I definitely recommend these leggings if you're looking for something affordable that fits really well, that feels nice and soft. These are a great choice. And because they are on Amazon, you can get them really quickly. They were very affordable. And in general, I think that you will be very happy with them if you do decide to pick them up. All right, next up we have another pair of leggings from Sunzel, but this time it is the Sunzel flare leggings, and I also got a crossover waist this time. Because I loved those other ones so much, I thought I would give a try to some of the other legging styles that Sunzel has. This one was another one that was very highly rated, and I absolutely love a little pair of flare leggings, especially if I'm going to actually wear my leggings out of the house. For some reason, I just feel like a little bit of a flare or more of like a straight cut, like wide leg legging looks a little bit more, I want to say formal. They just look a little bit less sloppy, I guess, to me. And that's not to say there's anything wrong with wearing regular leggings outside of the house. I do it occasionally. I just feel like it sometimes feels a little bit nicer or a little bit more like I'm wearing something, not just leggings, if I am wearing some kind of pants like this. Now, similar to those last ones we were looking at, these ones are available in multiple different lengths. I got the 28-inch length, and it is perfect for me. Once again, I'm 5'1". These are basically right on the ground, so with any kind of a shoe, they would be perfect. Once again, they do have the flare. It is not a super wide flare or anything. It is coming down tight all the way to the knees, slightly flaring out from there. I got this Java brown color, but there were tons of other colors that you could get as well, including some very cute like pastel shades, which I think would be beautiful. And I'm interested in trying them based on these because I do really like them. So we'll have to see if I give some of those a try in the future, because pastels tend to show every bit of cellulite and be completely see-through, which I can say that this brown pair is not see-through at all. Definitely squat proof. Now this style does have the crossover waist. Once again, you can get versions with or without the crossover waist depending on what you're looking for. And then this style does not have any front seam. So if you're somebody that really doesn't like that front seam, this could be a good option for you. I personally feel like I might have slightly more camel toe in this than in the last pair that had the front seam, which once again, it just depends on your body's physiology as well as the fit of the individual pairs of leggings. those because it seems like it's not super consistent for me when I get it and when I don't. Now you can see obviously these fit super, super high rise, especially at the back. They are coming up all the way to this like little long line sports bra. Definitely a super, super high rise. Now, once again, these have absolutely no compression, so they are not holding your tummy in at all. It also means they're not flattening out your bum at all, which once again, I really like that. I would much rather have comfy, very stretchy leggings personally than something with very high compression that's uncomfortable to wear. And I am definitely a huge fan of these. Now, when I got them, I believe I got them for around $25. Once again, I think the regular price is a little bit closer to $40. I would feel comfortable paying $40 for these. They're once again a very, very soft, very silky fabric. I will say I think that these ones feel ever so slightly thinner than these ones that we had on before. I think this fabric is just a little bit thicker than these. However, these feel very, very comfortable, super, super stretchy. Once again, you could do anything in these. And because they are that soft, really slippery fabric, once again, I do think that they probably won't pill too quickly between the legs, which is perfect for me. And then for the last clothing item, I got this dress from the brand Pretty Garden on Amazon. I have actually tried a different dress from them last year, which was this one that's kind of like a linen style dress. Very beautiful, very like well structured, very well made. So because of that and how much I really liked it, I thought let's try a second dress from Pretty Garden. Now this brand I would say is a little bit more expensive compared to a lot of the other like much cheaper things on Amazon. However, once again, based on my experience with that dress, I felt like that was very much well worth the money. I'll be honest that this one is a little bit more disappointing to me. Now, I want to be clear that I think that this is pretty. If you like how it looks and you are looking for a dress like this, I don't think you would necessarily be disappointed in it. However, having tried the other dress from Pretty Garden, I feel like this one is just not quite as nice. The fabric on this is definitely like a polyester. That does mean that it is like a very lightweight fabric. It would definitely be very flowy as you're walking around. It would be flowing behind you. I think that part of it is great. I do think that the printed pattern on this from far away looks better than it does from super up close. And I do think that there is a tendency for fabrics like this where it's a very vibrant pattern printed on polyester to look and feel kind of cheap, at least to me. So I do feel like maybe this is a little overpriced for what it is. Now, the top of this dress is smocked, which I actually love a smocked dress. I know that it's never going to be super fancy. It's not what a lot of people would wear to like a wedding or anything, but I feel like they just fit well. They're very customizable to your shape. You're always going to get that like nice tight bodice up top before your skirt kind of flows out a bit more. And I just like how that looks on me and on a lot of people. I think that it's just a really nice look. Now the sleeves on this are puff sleeves with some elastic on them. In the photos on the website, they do show them both as like an off the shoulder or as an on the shoulder and like a full puff sleeve moment. I think you could definitely wear them either way. I personally prefer them off the shoulder in this particular dress, though I have lots of huge puff sleeve dresses that I absolutely love. In terms of the length, you can see this is very long on me. In general, I think all of the Pretty Garden dresses, the maxis at least, tend to run very long. In general, I feel like all of the dresses at Pretty Garden run pretty long. The other dress that I own from them is so long I can only wear it with like obnoxiously high heels. So if you are very short, just keep that in mind. You probably want to stick to something like this. This was actually meant to be like a midi dress, and on me that is very much a maxi. And this dress does have some lining in it, which is great, so you don't have to worry about it being see-through. And in general with this dress, I would say I don't hate it, but I'm not like head over heels in love with it. I feel like it just looks a little bit underwhelming. I think the skirt should either have something under it to give it a little bit more volume, or the pattern should maybe be like a little bit less vibrant. And that's coming from somebody that loves like a super bright, colorful piece of clothing. In general, I would say for me, this is just okay, which is crazy because I was expecting to absolutely head over heels love this. I've actually looked at this probably about 15 times, trying to decide whether to buy it or not. Once again, especially if you could get it on sale, I don't think you would necessarily be disappointed in it if you like how it looks on a real person, not just on the website. But for me, I was just hoping for more, I guess, especially given my experience with that other dress, which I would absolutely recommend. And last but not least, this is once again less of like a fashion thing and more of a beauty thing, but I did get a little satin bonnet. Once again, if you've watched this channel for a long time, I used to have one that was like elastic around the entire base of it, but over time I felt like the elastic was getting stretched out, so it would not stay on my head overnight. I at one point switched to a satin little like pillowcase, which I liked, but my dog also liked it, so she would constantly scratch at it, so it was just getting like really rough textured. So I figured I would give another try to the satin bonnets. Now, if you have never tried wearing a satin bonnet or using a satin pillowcase at night, I do really feel like it helps with breakage in your hair. Like if you're somebody that ends up with a ton of really tiny baby hairs sticking straight up all over the place, I do feel like these can help with that, and also help if you're somebody that does not wash your hair every day. I only wash my hair like every 3 days usually. Otherwise, it's going up in a shower cap when I'm in the shower. And I feel like sleeping in something like this can really help to elongate your hairstyle so you don't have to completely redo your hair every single day. So in general, obviously this came in a pretty little box, so you could definitely like gift something like this to somebody if you wanted to. This is a super soft silky satin both on the inside and on the outside. It does have some elastic to help it like stay on your head, but then you tie it up to make sure that it stays in place. So generally when I am wearing something like this, I kind of put it over my head, push all my hair in, and then flip it so that all of that hair is kind of sitting in the back. And then for me and how I sleep, I would tie this up in the front. Now, where you would want to tie this will obviously depend a little bit on how you sleep. So I am always sleeping either on my back or on my side. So obviously having it tied either here or at the back is not going to work. When I'm sleeping, having it tied like this with these in my face would be fine for me because I already sleep with an eye mask on anyways. So obviously, not super sexy. That's obviously not what I'm going for here when I'm sleeping. But now your hair is all inside of this. It's nice and soft. It's protected against rubbing against your pillowcase or any breakage. I think this will be really good for when I have my hair up in heatless curls because I obviously have it wrapped around a satin rod, but then it rubs against your pillowcase all night, which is not great for your hair. And you can see, like, I have a decent amount of hair. My hair is pretty long. It's very curly. This still has plenty of space in it, and it was very easy to get on. Obviously, in the morning, you would just undo that and then gently lift that off of your hair. I personally feel like that is going to be absolutely perfect. Definitely a lot more comfortable to wear something like this than one of the ones that has really scratchy elastic all the way inside of it. In this one, it does have some elastic, but it is fully coated in that satin, so the actual elastic pieces are not stabbing into your head all night. I'll have to sleep in this, and I'll definitely let you know down in the comments how it went before I post this video. I will sleep in it first. But in general, I'm very pleased with that. I think that it will be perfect. And do keep in mind, you don't need curly hair to wear a satin bonnet like this. I do think that it helps anybody with hair breakage and just generally helping to improve your overall hair health. And I do also want to point out that when you're wearing something like this, if your strings are way too long and they're going to annoy you, you can wrap it around your head once first and then tie it in the front. That's also completely possible. So then you end up with something much smaller instead of anything that's going to like dangle in your face. It just depends what you want. For me, having something dangling in my face is not going to annoy me. Once again, I'm already going to have a huge face mask on, but I do think that these can be really excellent. And with that, those are the different things that I got from Amazon this time. Like always, definitely let me know which you liked, which you didn't, and why. I would love to hear from you down in the comments. And as always, if there's something that you want to check out from this video, I will of course include the links down in the description box. You can find everything down there, including including what size I got. And with that, thank you so much for watching this video today. I hope that you have a fabulous day and that I'll see you next time. Bye!